A division this season.
Nice job. He sets up right behind Ballesteros. Little tap on the back end, says which side I'm going, and he goes right through. There's a shot of Kupu stats, 162 carries, 959 yards, 14 TDs, and I like that, almost 6 yards a carry. You have to love that.
Tafralis now on a 2nd down and 13. Feeling the heat. Lets it fly. Contact incomplete. No markers. Diaz and Kupu was down there. And getting a hand on it for the Warriors was number 11, the free safety, Edwin Latu.
Well, Latu ran into Martinez. That was your contact. Tafralis busy. And South City starting to show a few more blitz packages, which is something I kind of figured we were going to be seeing more in the first quarter, but Ben White saving it for the second quarter. And I'll tell you one thing, South City dodged a bullet because that ball was almost completed.
3rd down, 13. Tafralis now in the shotgun, high snap, looking for the shovel pass. Has Kupu! Will Mr. Kupu meet Mr. Hector Garcia? For the second time in the series, Garcia drops Kupu for a loss in the backfield, and Mills goes 3 and out.
On that play, Radke, number 79, the center. And the offensive line, Craig, and the running backs, what they did on that one, everybody turned their back to look at the quarterback to see when that pitch was going to come forward. They forgot to turn around and see where the white shirts were, and they just went right by the blockers.
Shot a kick. Again, not a good one. And this is really going to be beneficial for the South San Francisco Warriors. They'll have a 1st down and 10 in the Mills territory at the Viking 48-yard line with a 14-0 lead. It occurred 9:36 left until halftime, and everything probably Ben White wanted. A lead going into halftime, and you know, it's great when you have a 2-touchdown lead because they're a ball control team. They can grind it out and melt that clock.
They can do that, and they can do it very well, and they can show you a lot of different looks. The other thing they're able to do now is turn the horses loose defensively a little bit more than they probably wanted to. We're seeing more blitzes, and that's going to give Tafralis a little bit more things to look at as he reads.
They're going to the air again. Latu wants it all, goes to the far sideline. Incomplete. Just out of the arms of Maurice Cummings, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
And on the coverage, number 12, Chin, who was beat. Ken was beat by maybe just about a half step or so, and that ball was just thrown to the wrong side. Cummings looked back to the inside, back to the outside, got himself turned around just enough that the ball fell harmlessly incomplete. But I like the gamble by Ben White. Hey, you're at midfield within striking distance, go for it.
Latu, up man, big gain, 5-6 yards. Carry to Jose Rodriguez, 5'7", 170, and the senior. Bring up a 3rd down at about a long 4.
Yeah, number 76, Brainy, the middle linebacker, in on that tackle. Good job by Latu, working through all of the fakes. Daniels the fake, going all the way back to make sure that Daniels has to carry out the fake because that will freeze people.
Rodriguez and Daniels behind Latu now at a 3rd down and 4. Give it inside, a counter play to Jomar Drake, gets a perimeter. Drake is finally pushed out by Chris Diaz and a little extracurricular activity. No marker, big gain of 16 yards inside the Mills 30-yard line.
Well, the officials are going to let him play a little bit here, so the frustration is going to be too much. Everybody coming. Great job by the defensive line. They just stick with the guys right in front of them. That allows Drake to get the corner, turn the thing upfield, and Diaz has got to come over. Nice stiff arm by Drake. You always got to love a guy when he does a nice straight arm, especially on the shoulder pads so they don't get that face mask. Now it's going to be timeout, Mills, and this is a regroup timeout. Absolutely a regroup type of a timeout, and Mills needs it.
Well, this game wouldn't be possible without some assistance. And we would like to thank some generous local businesses for helping to underwrite the cost of televising this ball game. Thanks to Citibank Millbrae with a full line of banking services for students and their families, and a Rainy TV, your full line Panasonic sales and service provider. Also thanks to Millbrae Lock with fully equipped radio dispatch mobile units at your service, and Ed Rogers Realty. serving real estate investment needs for over 50 years. Last but not least are the great folks who bring you Peninsula TV's Game of the Week. We're familiar with them: Kurt, BFI, Burrell Bank, RCN, Ceremony Center, and the San Mateo County Times. First down at 10 for South City with a 14-0 lead. There's Chris Daniels. Chris Daniels with the first down, still on his feet. And he is inside the 20-yard line down to about the 18. A pickup of 12 for Mr. Daniels, the talented senior who has rushed for over 1,500 yards this year in a CCS best 23 touchdowns. Add one today for 24.
Yeah, two of the people in on the tackle, Brainy number 76 and 69 Wellman. You are not going to be able to just arm tackle Daniels and get him down, and that's what I'm seeing the Vikings do. Not really getting their legs into the tackle, no wrapping, just reaching out and trying to get their hands and take him down. Not going to happen.
Offset eye, inside give. Rodriguez the fullback, and he is ridden by Tafralis. Nice effort by Tafralis from his free safety position, who's been creeping up just a bit with this running game. Gain of about 4, call it second down and 6. Well, Ben White calls his offense a 3-back misdirectional offense, which is which I like. That's on the humorous side. But he could throw so many different sets at you, Kurt. On this drive, he's going with Rodriguez and Daniels in the backfield, throwing Jomar Drake out. So it's not a 3-back, it's just a 2-back, usually in an offset eye.
And he's getting some great blocks by his offensive line. That really helps the backs out a lot.
Here comes Drake in motion, and there's the give to Chris Daniels. He finds a 5-hole, still on his feet, cuts it to the outside. He's at the 5, he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Chris Daniels, his 25th of the season. And South City has opened up a 20-0 lead with 7:31 left until half.
Well, Daniel's doing a good job. Watch Latu get Drake in motion. That moves the strength of the defense from their right to their left. And Thompson throws a beautiful lead block, missed tackle in the backfield, and you can see Daniels just getting down the field. He is so very quick.
Navarro's point after is perfect. 7.5 to play until intermission. 21-0. South San Francisco over Mills on MC TV. And quite frankly, Kurt, I'm shocked.
I am too. We always knew that South City's got the ability to have some quick strike type of an offense. They've got the backs that can get down the field. But the Mills defense, we watched them before, and they got a pretty tough defense, and they've just made some misreads. But on that particular play, finally, South City's offensive line got engaged real quick with the guys across from them, and Mills could not control their gaps, and they could not get away from the blockers. And when that happens, running backs just absolutely have a field day. And the Warriors have got, obviously, Daniels, tough running back, and Rodriguez, another tough running back.
That scoring drive, 47 yards and 6 plays, took 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Leyva is toppled at about the 33-yard line. And now Mills will have to get something going. Well, earlier, Mike Tenerowitz had his thoughts about bouncing back from that Cappuccino loss and what might happen here against South City.
Hello, I'm Eric Anderson, and I'm here with Coach Mike Tenerowitz, the head coach of the Mills varsity football team. And Coach, Mills has had a very successful season, going undefeated in league. And then you closed out the season with a tough loss to Cap in the pitch black the other night over there in San Bruno. How has the team recovered psychologically for this big upcoming game?
Well, our team was very disappointed in the loss at Cap, but still felt real good about the accomplishments they had over the course of the year. And they came back, and we kind of regrouped on Monday. And once they found out who we were playing in the playoffs and refocused their attentions on the CCS, they kind of got their spirits back, and we've had a good week of practice.
So this week you're playing South City, which is a similar squad to Cappuccino. So what is Mills going to have to do in order to win this game?
Well, each week we learn from mistakes that we've made, and we did make a few mistakes against Cappuccino, which we think we've corrected. And you're right, South City does have an outstanding running game. Their running backs are just as physical as Cappuccino's and probably a little bit faster. So we're going to have to contain Daniels and Drake and Oliveris to have a chance to win this game.
And how about Tafralis? Is he going to have a big game in order for Mills to pull out the victory?
Yeah, I told him on Monday that all the things that he's done over the past 3 years, you know, I'm pretty much going to put the game in his hands. We're going to give him an opportunity really to show what he can do and, you know, get him moving around, throwing the ball, running our option, and we're looking forward to him having a real big game.
All right, so there you heard it. Mills needs to stop the offensive running game of South City, and Adam Tafralis needs to have a big game throwing the ball. Well, thanks, Coach, for joining us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mike Tenarowitz, the 8th-year coach at Mills High School, has done a fantastic job and a good man. And right now, his troops have to start producing offensively. They're down 21-0 with 6:42 left until halftime. They moved the ball on their first 2 drives, but penalties killed them. This one, they're moving a little bit. They started at the 33. The ball now at midfield. It's a 2nd down and 10. And Tafralis again will throw a missile, and he has Diaz, a knee hit at the 38-yard line. Pickup of 12 yards and a 1st down. What an arm.
He's got a cannon. There's no doubt about that one. Tafralis from the shotgun position. This gives him a lot more time. Good job. Look to the left. He had 2 receivers down there. Then, of course, he's going to go back to the old, reliable Mr. Diaz. Mr. Ike can catch a bullet in the dark, and he had to catch one right there, and it was a nice job of going down the field. And you South City in a zone, basically when you have 2 receivers out there, it's a covered one, so Latu is a single safety. He's got the whole responsibility. Everybody up is man up.
6:17 left until halftime. Tafralis will go to the outside, has a man for a pickup of about 4. The tackle by Oliveris, caught by the tight end, Kyle Splice.
Now that's a great one. Use the tight end. Tight end so many times is just the ghost. Tafralis does a good job. He just locks right on the tight end right off the bat, and he's going to go to Grossman. Grossman better have his catcher's mitt on, because here comes a heat-seeking missile right to him.
Kupu in the backfield with Tafralis. Nice drive by the Vikings. Got to make it count. Kupu on the draw. And he's going to be about 3 yards shy of a 1st down. Pickup of about 3. And it's very, very important that the South City linebackers stay at home, and they have done a great job of that here this afternoon.
They have that time. That time the far side was coming on a blitz. They were coming on some kind of a dog, and that was a good offensive call by Mills, because they ran right into the teeth of the blitz, but everybody was looking at Tafralis and not the running back, so we were able to pick up a couple of hard-earned yards.
3rd down, long 4. Give for maybe 2. Kupu carrying the majority of the load as far as carrying the ball, and I think Mills will go for it here. Down by 21 points with 4:42 left until halftime. It'll be a 4th down at about 3.
I think they have to. Kupu that time led right through the hole by the big fullback, Vanika. So a simple lead right off the left tackle. Picks up the needed yardage. Here's one of the things that you got to look for on this short yardage game. Tafralis always can run the ball. Very, very dangerous. And he's got some pretty good running backs too.
Peninsula TV viewers, if you're just tuning in and want to see this game in its entirety, check that. If you're watching this game on Millbrae Community Television, you'll be happy to know that MCTV believes that football and turkey go hand in hand, so you can see replays of this game in its entirety throughout the Thanksgiving weekend. And great job by MCTV televising Mills' first ever CCS playoff game. Right now, not good news for the Vikings and their fans, down 21-0 with 4:36 left until halftime. Here's a big play for the Vikings. 4th down at about 3, and you always talk about the momentum going into the locker room. A touchdown here could heal some wounds for Mills.
Oh, it'd absolutely be huge. Look at this. South City really stacking the defensive box. They've got 8 people right in the box.
Tafralis will call his own number. He's going to be awfully close. He's going to be real close. Jose Rodriguez in on the stop. And they're going to give Tafralis the 1st down. 1st and 10. The Vikings with 4:34 left until half.
and that is a great call and probably the more predictable call when you've got this big type of a quarterback, 230 pounds. He just did a nice job of just tucking the ball and going right behind his guard.
7th play of the drive. 3 wide receivers set out for Tafralis. Kupu is a lone setback. Time, throw, end zone, has a man! Touchdown! What a throw by Tafralis. Diaz with the score, and we got a 21-6 game. What a pass, Kurt.
Oh, that was a great pass, a tough pass to make, but it gives you an idea the power in the arm of Tafralis. And you know this does not happen from the shotgun position. Great blocking on the outside. Thompson trying to get to him. Just a super job by that offensive line. New and Bonaducci were the tackles. Brainy and Varela the guards, and Radke the center. That gave the big quarterback a lot of time, and he threw a perfect pass to Diaz.
And a great catch by number 80.
Oh, this is not what you want.
Asha in a world of trouble. That's still a free
this is
ball.
Still hot. It's still hot. He can go for 2. He is.
Nope. College game, pro game, not in high school. That's
I
dead.
can never keep all these 3 things straight.
But let's give you a huge extra point. Makes it a 21-6 game with 4:08 left in the second quarter.
Well, this is kind of the good news, bad news type of play then, Craig. The bad news is the extra point went slightly awry. And the good news is nobody ever came back with a score on it, so that was good.
All right, you Peninsula TV viewers, if you just tuned in, want to see this game repeated in its entirety, catch your replays coming up in November 24th at 7:30 or November 27th at 10 p.m.
Hey, you used to be a long snapper in your days of playing football. How tough is that? To me, you couldn't pay me enough money to stick my head down there and get it beat in and have to snap it back 10, 15 yards.
It's all between the ears, to tell you the truth. Just concentrate, don't listen to anyone on the line of scrimmage, and get that ball right at about the belly button of the punter.
Now, how much yacking's going on up in your ear?
There's a lot of talking, and many times you're double teamed after the snap, and you're going to bite some dirt. But your job is to get it to the holder or the punter. Line drive kick now. See if South City can reach the scoreboard again before halftime, and Drake is wrapped up. Oh, nice return coverage by the Vikings. Tackle made by Hickman, 6'2", 220, and just a sophomore.
Hickman doing the tackling as you're supposed to, just coming down. Kickoff return, people, you've got your lanes of responsibility. You stay in your lanes till you get at least past the 45-yard line in the other guy's territory, maybe even deeper than that depending on the depth of the kick. Then everybody starts to converge on the running back, and Hickman did a good job of just getting right around the waist, wrapping him up and taking down Drake. Tough guy to take down, by the way.
That Tafralis touchdown pass to Diaz is 19th of the year. South City keeps it on the ground. This guy can burst one in a hurry. Tafralis brings down Chris Daniels after a pickup of about 3. We'll call it 2nd down and 7. Inside of 4 minutes, second quarter, 21-6. South City on top of Mills.
Castaneda, number 60, a nice block out there, releasing from his guard position. Castaneda comes in at a svelte 230 pounds, doing a good block and allowing the running back to get out of the backfield.
2nd down, 7. Here come the Vikings. Latu, play action, going down the middle, just out of the reach of Drake. He had him. Similar to the 71-yard touchdown pass late in the first quarter.
Now, Craig, on that play, the only 2 people who were running was Diaz and Drake had Diaz beat on that hard slant. Everybody else for the Mills Vikings decided to buy an e-ticket and go on a ride somewhere at Disneyland. That shows you how old I am. Disneyland gave away stuffed e-tickets a long time ago. But that play almost worked, and I'll say it again.
3rd down, 7. Stop here by Mills, going to get the ball back. Maybe not their opportunity to score, and they will. Daniels tried to make something out of nothing, but he lost a couple of yards. Big defensive play by Kyle Splice, number 44, the defensive end.
And that's the type of play that you're going to have to get from Splice. Initial hit. Watch this handoff. Splice comes in, nice pop, wraps him up. And that allows the rest of these gang to just show up and a gang tackle. Sure way to get somebody down, to have 6 people jump on top of his back.
Diaz at his own 35-yard line. Punt by Garcia, end over end. It bounces at the 40. Diaz scoops it up at the 34. Cuts to the outside, has some room in Warrior territory. Out at the 38-yard line.
Great decision by Diaz. I completely agree with his willingness to pick up that ball. As a return guy, you've got to take a look at where everybody's coming down to. And he got that nice, big, friendly, big hop and went right down the sidelines. I see so many times return guys let that ball bounce the extra time it goes by him, and it ends up going 15, 20 yards past him and putting your offense in a huge hole. That heads-up play by Diaz. Look at the great field position, about the 39-yard line inside South City territory.
27-yard return for Diaz. First down and 10. 2:32 left until halftime. Mills with 1 timeout. This is one of the things we talked about, Mills, the ability to come back because of their aerial game. Wide open. The tight end.
Over the middle to Grossman.
Grossman with his second reception. And the Vikings on the move, coming up on the 2-minute mark.
Now you've got a blitz coming from the right side. It's nicely picked up by the running back, Tafralis, and now has to go to his hot read, which is Grossman, coming across the center of the field. That was a great job by Tafralis to check down to his hot read.
First down and 10 from the 30, Tafralis, out pattern, Grossman again! Grossman puts his head down to gain a couple more yards, and he is inside the 20-yard line, near the 15, and a big pickup of 16 yards from Tafralis to Grossman.
I'm getting a kick out of Tafralis. As soon as he's throwing that ball and he sees it's going to be a big play, he's headed over to the sidelines to talk to his coach, and he's waving his hands like, come on, come on, come on, come on, give me that new offensive play. Come on, let's go, we're rolling. I don't want to waste any time. It's the type of quarterback you like to see in there, one that's going to take control of the situation. He knows he's got a hot hand with 2 receivers right now. He's anxious to throw the football.
First down, goal. Mills on the move.
Run.
Tafralis looking, throwing. Touchdown, Vikings. Chris Diaz.
You've got to be cool. If you're going to be a quarterback, oftentimes bad things can happen, like a bad snap and a real lucky bounce. And Tafralis, he knows he reminds me a little bit of Elway. You know that, Craig? Able to make something out of nothing, and a lot of composure on him. Sees everything kind of happen right in front of him, and the quality quarterbacks watch it happen in slow motion. He's moving at 100 miles an hour, but he watched it go down in slow motion. That was a great heads-up play. I thought he was going to take it and run with it, but he had the presence of mind to look down the field and spot a guy open in the end zone.
Well, the Vikings will have to go to 2 since they muffed the point after on their first touchdown. And Tafralis will roll. Markers down. Tafralis in trouble. Still on his feet. He has a load to bring down at 2:30. Finally brought down to the turf, but let's get the call from our officials. 1:37 left until halftime.
Well, that was tackled by Oliveras. It's going to go.
Start of the Vikings.
The Vikings at the line of scrimmage.
Legal procedure. 6 men on the line on the offense. The penalty is declined.
Being able to get off on the right count. It's killed him on short series. It's killed him again on this one. And so now they're going to find themselves, although they've got to be positive going in. Their extra points haven't been all that successful, but they've coming back from adversity. They've answered the simple fact that we can score against a good Warrior defense, and now their defense again has to suck it up with a $1:37 to go. Timeouts. They've wasted most of their timeouts, so it's going to be interesting to see what Ben White does. Whether he says, hey, we'll sit on a 9-point lead going to halftime, catch our breath, regroup, and then go from there.
South City, if you just joined us, what?
How about an onside kick? What have we got to lose?
Why not? You lose, the season's over with. Kind of a semi-onside kick. It is reeled in by Rodriguez. Rodriguez tries the far side, returns it for a couple of yards. And the Warriors will have it 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Still enough time, 92 seconds. That scoring drive by Mills, 3 plays covered 38 yards in 55 seconds. So the Vikings on their last 2 drives have driven 67 and 38 yards in just under 4 minutes combined.
Well, when you've got somebody like Tafralis and the receivers that he has, obviously number 80 Diaz being the primary receiver, you're a quick strike type of an offense.
1st and 10. Let's see what Ben White does here. Drake in motion. He's looking at the pass. He's going to throw that football. He's looking down, and it is intercepted. Ken Chin.
Now Shin with the interception. Drake with the little flea flicker throws a duck up there, and it's hunting season, and Chin says, I'm going to pick this thing off, and I'm going to have duck dinner instead of turkey dinner. Big, huge play. Still a lot of time. Not many timeouts for Mills. Chin redeeming himself. He got beat in the far corner for 6 earlier on in the game. Now comes up with a great defensive play.
First turnover by South City. Things were working the Warriors' way up 21-0. Suddenly, the noose is tightening around the neck. Kupu. And he has yet to really get on track. The Warriors done a great job of stuffing the Vikings' running game. The problem lately has been the Vikings' passing game and the time that Tafralis has had. 1 minute to go in the half.
Well, a little bit of a hurry-up offense. Tafralis can do that. But you have to keep the defense honest, Greg, so you have to run the ball every once in a while because you may catch everybody flying back in coverage defense.
Tafralis in the gun. Tafralis time, throws a bullet. Diaz again. Diaz lunges to the first down marker, checked at it. Not Diaz, number 20, and that is Ryan Grossman, his 4th catch of the afternoon.
Well, because he got the first down in high school ball, the clock stops. The other choice is to step out of bounds because as soon as it's marked, now the clock will start again. If you run it out of bounds, the clock doesn't start until the snap, so they're losing about 10 seconds or so.
Here comes the heat. Tafralis going deep. Walensky wants a flag. Nice coverage by Ernie Martinez, number 17.
There was a little contact in there. Martinez might have thrown a flipper in. But obviously these officials are going to let these guys play. Tafralis, watch how pretty this is. Locks on his receiver, Walensky. You can see Walensky fighting down here. The contact's going to be right there. Yes, indeed, that should be defensive pass interference. But the officials chose not to throw the flag. Why? I don't know. Must have been watching the big game down the highway a little bit. They weren't watching this one.
Ooh, I sense a disagreement with that call.
Come on, you've known me for years. I don't get along with officials.
You're banned from Italy. Or you're kicked out of the country in baseball. Tafralis, it's a Xerox copy intended for Sutter. Triple teamed to bring up 3rd down and 10 from the South City 49-yard line with 26 seconds to go.
Well, if I'm Tafralis or I'm the quarterback coach for Adam, I'm saying you've got to look off the defenders. He is locking right on his defenders, and that time it was Sutter. And it was a convention down around the poor wide receiver who dons number 2. He had everybody down there. Look him off and go to the secondary. Go to the 3rd receiver. He's getting pretty good protection by his offensive line right now, so, you know, give those different looks. Look the defenders off.
4 wide receivers now for Tafralis. Looking for the shovel pass. Telegraph, that's an incomplete pass, not a loose ball. And it'll bring up 4th down and 10 with 21 seconds remaining until halftime. You just joined us. South City jumped out to a 21-0 lead thanks to a pair of Chris Daniels touchdown runs and a 71-yard touchdown score from Edwin Latu to Jomar Drake. But Mills has clawed back. Tafralis has found Diaz twice for TD scores, but both extra points no good. And we'll see how that comes on down the road, maybe to haunt Mills. 21-12 with 21 seconds, and Tenerowit's not going to take any chances here, Kurt. They're going to punt the football.
Yeah, we'll see if they come with a block package or a return. It's a return package, and he finally gets a good one.
Ashaw's best kick of the day. Drake on a hop. And Drake with a nice return of 13 yards. up near the 30-yard line and with 9 seconds remaining. And we'll see if the Warriors just take a knee and take a 9-point lead into the locker room.
Now there is a flag on the play. It'll be interesting to see what the flag's all about. The defender, we have 2 flags. We have one up here on the offensive end and one down where the tackle was made. So now there's going to have a nice conversation. Going down to cover down there, did not see the number of the Mills tackler. He just essentially shoved the blocker out of the way. Now usually it's illegal push behind the back will go against the offense. Occasionally they'll call it against the defense. I haven't seen it very often, but interesting to see what the one's going to be like up here. Ah, the deliberation. Where's the Perry Mason theme song when you need it?
Beautiful afternoon on the 17th of November 2001. Craig Wentz with Kurt Edwards. You're watching MCTV. Temperatures hovering in the low 70s. No wind. Blue skies after some rain during the week. Field's in pretty good condition.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
A little bit of mud in the west side of the field.
Foul
There's our call.
on red. We got holding
and
on
hold
red,
on
decline.
Mills
We have a
declined
clip
and now a clip.
on the
And
red
that will
team
be
on
on
the
Mills
return.
also.
We'll penalize that one 15 yards. First down.
Yeah, you get two for the price of one. They're going to take the one that's going to give them the most yardage, obviously, and that's going to be the clipping or pushing, actually, as the Mills defender shoved the South City blocker in the middle of the back. Nice somersault, by the way, by the South City blocker. I believe it was Martinez was the victim of getting clipped. So take the penalty that gets you the most yardage. And now let's see how conservative with 9.5 seconds everybody is.
I think Ben White just give it to Daniels. Go to the locker room with a 9-point lead. There is Daniels. There is the tackle, and that'll do it for half number 1. 24 minutes in the books. South City jumped out to the big lead. That has been whittled down to 9. We're at the break. South San Francisco 21, Mills 12. We'll be back with exciting second half action. You're watching MC. Welcome back to a festive Mills High School in Millbrae for the Vikings' first ever CCS playoff game. And in this CCS Division III opener, it has been back and forth. South San Francisco led 21-0 before Mills got off the mat and tallied 12 points to close out the second quarter. As you see, Kurt kind of slow in the scoring column in the first 12 minutes, but both teams picked it up in the final 12 minutes with 26 points scored. Your thoughts about the second half and how Mills can overtake South City, advance to the second round against Los Gatos next week?
Well, one thing Mills is going to have to do is they're going to have to get their running game going. Kupu was their number 1 runner with only 15 yards. That's not going to get it done. Tafralis had a great first half, but if you're going to sit on his arm, it's going to be his arm and his legs, his mobility, because after a while, the defensive secondary for South City is going to sit back. So keep playing good defense, Vikings, but you better figure out how to move the ball on the ground.
Tafralis in the first half, 11 out of 20 for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Diaz came into this game with 30 receptions for 503 yards, averaging 18 yards per catch. And old Chris Diaz had an exceptional first half, 5 receptions for 67 yards and a pair of touchdowns. South City scored first on a 71-yard touchdown pass from Latu to Drake right down the center of the field. A couple of Chris Daniels touchdown runs. South City had a 21-0 lead. Mills making a game of it, but they did miss 2 extra points. That looms large. They're down by 9. It's a 2-score game as we're about to commence half number 2. The Warriors will kick, and the deep man at about his own 5-yard line is Chris Diaz. If you're South City, Kurt, if you're Ben White, do you keep the ball on the ground the majority of the time, start melting that clock?
You try to. You use the great running backs that he has, and he's got a couple of real good ones. Obviously, Oliveras, Drake, Rodriguez, and Daniels. They can run them all right through there. but you have to keep that play option, that pass option in the forefront, because after a while, the defense for Mills is going to have to start creeping up, and Latu can then go deep. But he's going to probably take a little bit more conservative, use the option, send the belly up there a little bit more, try and soften the underbelly of the Mills defense and see if he can get some big yards from some of his running backs.
If you just joined us, this is a CCS Division III lid lifter. Opening game, the winner will take on top seed Los Gatos next week, either Friday or Saturday night in Los Gatos. Mills comes in here with a 7-2 overall mark, 7-0. They won the PAL Ocean Division, first league championship ever, first CCS playoff appearance. And a return out across the
Kick return by Anthony Lane.
25-yard line. Earlier had a chance to talk to Ben White, the head man in South City, and asked him, what do you have to do to pull out a W here today? Craig, once along with South San Francisco head coach Ben White, and Ben, fantastic here, return trip to the CCS playoffs. Tough Mills team. Balanced. What do you have to do to knock this team off and advance to the second round?
I think number one, our defense is going to have to step up and be able to stop their powerful passing game, and they've got a good running game to go along with it. They're a very balanced team, so you know, they're good with both the run and pass, and that's going to present some problems for us defensively. But in order for us to win, we're just going to have to play our game, hopefully control the ball on the ground with our running attack, and play solid defense behind that. And we've also been playing pretty good special teams all year with kick returns and actually making some field goals for the first time in a long time. So, you know, you tie all those things together, and hopefully if we do a good job in all of them, we'll get a victory today.
Coach Ben White of South San Francisco, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, we thank Ben White. His team has played fairly well for the first 24 minutes. Hopefully they can hold on if you're a South City fan. Completion from Tafralis to Grossman. It picked up about 6, second down at 4, high snap. And Tafralis, exceptional athlete, has a lot of room. And he's near midfield with a dive and a pickup of 9 yards and a first down.
Now that's a great way. I have a feeling, Craig, that probably was a busted play, and it only was the athleticism of Tafralis to pull that ball back down. Of course, he's not a bad basketball player in his own right, because everything was coming to the near side. You can see the tackles and the guards were reaching and pulling. The defense react to it, so there was nothing but open spaces on the far side of the field. Tafralis showing great peripheral vision, took advantage of it.
Tafralis, yeah, an outstanding athlete all around, plays basketball in the winter, one of the best shot putters in the state. Weird combination, quarterback and shot putter. He's going deep here, and Belinsky makes the catch. Inside the 25, and the marker's down at the 33-yard line. Hold on, there was contact at the 33.
Well, the question is, who pushed who? Did Belinsky push off to get in position, or did the defender push
We have
off?
offense, pass interference.
There's your answer. There was a lot of bumping and shoving down there, and the South City defender did look like he had a little help on that one. But when we watched Tafralis pitch the ball, he does a pump fake, and that allows everybody to drop back. There's your pump fake that releases the player deep. He basically throws flat-footed. Craig, if he steps into that thing, he'll probably throw it all the way over to Millbrae Avenue, which is just on the other side of the fence over there. And he's hanging that thing up there too much, and he's allowing the defense, and everybody has to adjust back to the ball. Throw the ball deep. If you overthrow everybody, fine.
Oh, Belinsky's a huge target, 6'5", 220, a senior going against the 5'8" Daniels. They're at the bottom of your screen on a second down and extremely long, and it picked off! Hector Garcia does a 360, and he's at the Viking 35-yard line. Ben White considers Garcia his best defensive player and one of the premier defenders in the PAL Bay Division. What a huge play, Kurt.
Well, Garcia's a middle linebacker. He's just dropping back into pass coverage, and Tafralis on the run doesn't see him. He's locked on to the receiver. Garcia just comes up underneath on a nice zone coverage, reads the quarterback, mirrors the quarterback on the roll, and is in the right place at the right time. But if you're a Mills place, it's wrong place, wrong time.
Intended for the tight end, Kyle Splice. 1st and 10. He'll see South City now work on the clock. Chris Daniels has some room, gets a perimeter, and he's knocked out deep in Viking territory by Ken Chin, the cornerback. Big gain of 26 yards.
Yeah, defensively, what Mills has got to be able to do, their defensive ends and their corners, they have to keep contained. And, of course, Daniels, that's tough to do because he's so explosive. Handoff is Daniels' first move is to come off tackle. It's not there. Tefralis is in a good spot, but he just kicks it to the outside. There's no more outside contained, and he's gone.
Daniels again, big seam, still on his feet and fighting for the goal line. At his 3rd touchdown of the ball game, going to come up just short. Bring up a 2nd down, just underway in the 3rd quarter. Huge interception by Hector Garcia, and then Daniels goes 26 yards off the left side, and now it is 2nd down and goal from about the 3. Any guesses who's going to get the ball here, Kurt?
Well, I'm going to go with 2-7 on, I will say he's going to follow Rodriguez, number 40, who's in the slot over on the right side.
Going to try to go to the outside, gets a nice block from Rodriguez, cuts inside into the end zone. Touchdown, Chris Daniels, his 3rd of the game and a CCS best, 26th on the year.
Well, there's no doubt you're going to go to the bank with the man that got you there throughout the entire season. And you've got Rodriguez, number 40, with a good lead block. And a great job by the rest of the interior part of that line to pull and stay with their men.
Navarro point after.
Point is good.
16-point lead for South City at 28-12 with 9:31 left in the 3rd quarter. The last thing Mills wanted to come out here in the 3rd quarter. You get the opening kickoff, turn the ball over, 3 plays, touchdown Warriors.
Well, I know games, you have to play out the entire game before the score is finished, but you want to start that 3rd quarter, the opening of the 3rd quarter, in a positive note. You go down and score, or you pin the other team deep in their own territory. And to have a ball picked off and then the team within a couple of plays just turn around and go for 6, those are potential backbreakers as far as anything else, because momentum is so huge. And defense, I know special teams also, but defense can shift that momentum, and we watched that happen with the Garcia pickoff.
Scoring drive for South City. Covered 35 yards in 3 plays. Took 1:04 off the clock. High short kick. Vikings looking for a long return. Not going to get it. Diaz returns it to the 30-yard line, and that's where the Vikings will rev their engine. 1st and 10, down 28-12 with 9:24 left in the 3rd. Daniels nearing the century mark now on the ground. He is averaging about 164 yards per game. He had 203 yards rushing against El Camino a week ago. He has 3 touchdowns. He has 26 on the season. The kid's only 5'7" and 165. He plays big, and he's got a huge heart.
And that makes up for a lot. You know, he may not be the big boys may not look at him, but he still has a little football left in him.
Yeah, he'll go somewhere and play. There is a loose ball recovered by South City. Fanaika lost it. He hasn't carried the ball in a long, long time.
1st down Warriors.
See who got this for the Warriors. Huge break.
Again, a very simple handoff, but the Warriors bring a lot of people there. Right into Fanaika. He's staggering a little bit, but right in there is the first part of the strip, and then there's just a whole bunch of people. And it looked like Oliveras, number 99, fell on top of that football, but I think Ballesteros, number 58, might have punched it loose.
2 turnovers in a little over a minute by Mills. Latu throws, and it is caught. What a catch. How did Villarreal, the 5'7", 145-pound junior, come up with that one?
A lot of concentration, but Latu really got stuck in the backfield because they were really starting to bring pressure on him, and they laid him out, and he just did get rid of that ball as Mills, showing a little bit of a blitz package, was able to get to the young quarterback, but he was able to get the ball away.
Latu's a 5'10", 160-pound junior. 1st down and 10, offset I. There's Daniel, stutter step, and he is swallowed up. Loss of about 2. A boatload of Vikings in on that tackle, led by number 99, who's having an outstanding afternoon, Kurt Moses Maka.
Maka was right there, did a great job, but you know who else helped out is number 22, Hickman. Defensive end on the right side, turned the play back inside, and you're right on that real slippery spot of that field where the mud puddle sits up. And it looked like Daniels might have lost just a little bit of traction, and the rest was all defense.
Second down, and we'll call it 10. And a pitch this time to Daniels. Gets a block from Rodriguez, and he picks up about 4 yards or so. Bring up a 3rd down and 7 with 8 minutes left in quarter number 3. Craig Wentz with Kurt Edwards. Glad you're with us on MCTV and along the Peninsula Television Network. First ever CCS playoff game for the Mills Vikings. They're down 28-12, and if South City runs this one in, that's a backbreaker.
It's a bad one. You know, defensively, they're getting some pretty good play. Fanica 35, and Spice turned it back in. But Mills has got to get more inside-out type of pursuit to the ball carrier.
Daniels the deep back, Latu play action, gonna roll under pressure, has a lot of room to run, and he'll tuck it in. It's him and Tafralis, quarterback on quarterback, both wearing number 11. And maybe a gain of a couple, bring up 4th down, and let's see if Ben White goes for the field goal.
Well, Tafralis shows great football instincts. Latu, there's your play action. You know, and Hickman doesn't bite, just misses it. Latu looking down the field, does one pump fake and says, I'm going to do it. Tafralis is holding his ground saying, I'm not moving until you do, and that was a great defensive read.
Here's Navarro. The ball is spotted at about the 18, and a 28-yard field goal right through the wickets by Navarro. Makes it a 30-12 game, Kurt, with 6:54 left in the third. 10 big points off 2 Mills turnovers here early in the third quarter.
And that's what's killing them. What killed them in the first half was not so much the turnovers, but it was the motion penalties, the 5 yards that backed up Mills and put them into, maybe they were going to go for it on 4th down, to them having to kick it. Now you've got 2 turnovers, and really the attitude and the coaching staff has to be paramount right now. Coaches have to stay positive through there. They've got to stay with their game plan and keep everybody else, their heads up as high as possible. If you drop your head as a coach right now, Craig, the other guys that are wearing the helmets are going to do the same thing onside, and we got all kinds of whistles.
Well, Ben White wants to end this one quickly.
I don't blame him, you know, and this is the perfect time. That's the old
Dead ball encroachment. Offense, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
That's one of those, everybody lines up in a hole, you bust out there at the same time, and you punch it out there. A lot of teams will do that. They'll race out there, freeze at the line of scrimmage, spread out in what is the traditional kickoff alignment. I wouldn't, you know, I'll do it again.
I wouldn't this time.
Well, that's because you and I are 2 completely different gamblers.
Completely different. Yeah.
That got everybody moving. There's a big suck of air here from the crowd that's around us, too.
Al Garcia now will kick it away. South City with a seemingly comfortable 19-point lead. And this one could be dangerous and finally rolls out of bounds. Kupu let it roll. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Mills, down by 3 scores. A lot of time left. Nearly 7 minutes remaining in quarter number 3.
Well, that's one of those. The break was the ball went out of bounds because on the kickoff, it's still a live ball. Tough field position. Not only are you deep in your own territories, they being the Vikings, but you're also in a rather muddy part of the field, Craig. So the action will be to the near side. Rollout will have to be around the back part of that mud to keep good footing.
You talked about Mills establishing a running game here in the second half. Maybe you throw that out the window, down by 19. Oliveira showing blitz from the near side. Here he comes. There's Tafralis, throws, and almost picked off by Rodriguez. Intended for Chris Diaz. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Now again, that pass behind the intended receiver, and that one was Grossman. Tafralis from the shotgun position. This is great because he gets a couple more yards to really lock out, and he's keeping it back in, but he just locks on one receiver, This time he throws it behind the receiver. And oh my, Rodriguez almost had a free trip to the bank.
2nd down 10. Tafralis has been in the shotgun the majority of the game. Locks out a receiver, lets it fly. Incomplete. Late marker down, and we might have a roughing the quarterback back at about the 10-yard line. Let's hold the phone and get the call.
Well, Craig,
Foul.
as usual,
Roughing the
you're
passer
right.
on the defense.
Roughing the passer. Coming up on he was coming off the corner is number 4, Navi. He's right in your picture now. Ball is gone, and he just drills the quarterback right in the back. So move the ball up. That's the good news, and that's, you know, that is what you really want to see. Plus the first down gets you out of the mud, literally and figuratively, and maybe that may jumpstart your offensive engine a little bit.
Well, Kurt, this is our first game ever working with MCTV. We've done the Peninsula TV broadcasts. People in the truck and those on the cameras doing a great job.
Great crew.
Here.
Real fun crew to work with.
1st down and 10. The Vikings. Tafralis in trouble. He's going to have to improvise. Now he's got a load of room. Going to throw a fastball. Intercepted. Picked off by Oliveros at the 40-yard line of South San Francisco. Mills with 3 drives to open up the 3rd quarter results in 3 turnovers.
That's one of those types of things. As a quarterback, having to be one, you start to trust your arm more than your legs, and Tafralis forced that pass. Good defense by the Warriors. They did not quit on their receivers, Craig, and a lot of times when you see a quarterback get to the outside, a more inexperienced coverage man will come off the receiver to anticipate the run. They're not doing that. They're staying right with the receivers. Tafralis is going to have to tuck the ball and run a little bit to try and get them off of his receivers.
6:30 to play. Jomar Drake yet to get on track, but he had a huge 71-yard touchdown catch late in the 1st quarter. He picks up 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Well, you think Mills scores 2 quick touchdowns in the 2nd quarter via the pass. But hey, it's part of football. You got to have a running game. South City's just drifting back, playing the pass. It's almost too easy.
Well, they're sitting on a good cover 2 type of a coverage. They are flying off the ball. They're saying our defensive front can maintain the line of scrimmage. They're scraping backers, and they're starting to show a lot of different blitz packages.
South City has scored both possessions here in the 3rd quarter. Chris Daniels, tough kid. He's going to be about 3 yards shy of a 1st down across the 45 and the 46. Bring up 3rd down and 3 with 5.5 to play in the 3rd.
Good read by the defensive line, but they're still not being able to separate off their blocks as quickly as I'm sure their coaches would like to see them do that. Right off the bat, at the point of contact, boom, you get underneath the guy blocking, you get rid of him into one gap or the other, and you make sure you own the gap that you're now staying in. Mills isn't doing it right now.
Latu taking his time. There's the pitch to Daniels, has an avenue. Still on his feet. It's going to be a foot race. Chris Daniels knocked out at about the 15-yard line. A pickup of 37 yards for Chris Daniels. That'll put him over the 100-yard mark, and that one really hurt the Vikings.
He can go through the gears, Craig. He is something to watch. Profalis finally gets him down, but on the far side, Fanika's got the ability to turn this thing back in. He gets turned around. There's 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles. Now he just goes right through the gear. He blows right by Diaz like he's standing still. Good job by our camera operators to stay with this white blur going down the field. And there finally is Tafralis to just sling him out of bounds.
Daniels came into this game with 1,500 yards. There's Rodriguez. Powers down inside the 10-yard line. Coming up on 5 minutes to play in the 3rd, and South City threatening again, up 31-12. Daniels has 26 touchdowns now in the season. He's over 1,600 yards. He's averaging well over 164 yards per game. And if South City holds his score, goes on to victory, and plays in the 2nd round, it will be against Los Gatos And South City will probably have to play its best game of the year, but the Wildcats better be aware of number 27. Offset eye, give it to the up man. That's Rodriguez, has a seam into the end zone. Touchdown Warriors. Jose Rodriguez from 5 yards out. And now this one's getting out of hand. It's 37-12.
It is that one, and you can see the attitude of the defense for the Mills Vikings. They really went down. Rodriguez had way too easy. Big blocks. Defenders just standing up. Not a lot of foot movement, not a lot of great athletic positions to even come in and make the tackle. They get blown off their marks.
Navarro with a point after 4:28 left. Third quarter, our new score, 38-12. South San Francisco on MCTV. That scoring drive, Kurt, very impressive. 6 plays, 60 yards. And all the points scored by the Warriors, 2 touchdowns and a field goal here in the third quarter, set up by Mills. Turnovers.
Yeah,
huge.
You can't do that one. You know, at the CCS meetings, which is always kind of fun and entertaining to go to, once everything got set in this particular division that we're in right now, the 2 teams that were predicted to get to the final game was Los Gatos and San Lorenzo Valley, which is over in Santa Cruz County. Those were the 2 that the great pundits had, whether or not, you know, the final 2 games. We'll see, but right now it's well, SLV is still playing right now, so we don't know if they've won yet.
Now, Burlingame gave number 1 seed Palma a heck of a test on Friday night, losing just 9-7. So congratulations to John Gilmore, not only getting into the Division IV playoffs, but putting up a good battle, the number 1 seed. Cappuccino playing as we speak in their CCS opener. Aragon also and Terra Nova beat Pali by the score of 10-0. On Friday night, there you see Terra Nova's 10-zip win. They'll take on the winner, as you mentioned, San Lorenzo Valley and Westmont. South City holds on. They'll take on Los Gatos, the number 3 team in CCS and the number 1 seed in the Division III bracket. And arguably maybe the best team in the Central Coast section. Mitty has an argument, but this is Los Gatos' championship to lose.
It is that one. San Lorenzo Valley's been a champion for a couple of years, but I'll tell you, watching the Cats play, Los Gatos is very good, and they've got all their coaches here.
They have one of the best quarterbacks in the state and the country in Trent Edwards. Tafrala's not a bad quarterback either, but he's been on the run too much here in the second half. Picked off again, and that is by Oliveras, his second pick in as many defensive plays. Again, Tafralas on the run, had a lot of room to gain some yardage, tried to squeeze it into Belinsky. 4 turnovers and 4 possessions here to start the third quarter.
Well, it sounds like a broken record, but quarterbacks tend to trust their arms more than their legs, and you get a big quarterback with a big arm. And Elway had this problem for quite a while when in his day. They get out there on the rollout, and Tafralas is looking down the field. Great coverage, cover 3, so everybody's covered deep. And he's looking deep. He's got to have somebody underneath. He does have a receiver underneath, but it's behind him. And when you roll out, you cannot see somebody 10 yards behind you on the roll.
Latu throwing and overshoots Drake. He had a couple of steps on Sutton. It'll be second down and 10 with 4 minutes to play in the third. 38-12 South City. A lot of time left, but I see those kids on the Mills sidelines, they get their head down. They got to get back into this football game, create a turnover, get in the end zone.
They do that. A lot of that has to come from the leaders on the ball club, the players, obviously themselves, and the coaches have to continue to coach like this is you're down by 1 touchdown. You still have a full quarter to go. You know that you can score, so you have to keep that in your mind. And Ben White's not going to pull off the ponies. He's going to keep coming for a while.
You got it. There's Daniels inside, and for one of the few times here this afternoon, he is dropped for a loss. Big hit by Splice, the defensive end. It'll be third down and about 15.
Splice doing a good job, but there's a classic example on how tough Daniels is to get down. Splice comes in, wraps him up right around the ankles, which is a good spot to tackle somebody. But Daniels does not go down. He's able to rip at least one leg free and hop around, trying to break that tackle. And that's the mark of a great running back, one that does not go down on the first hit or the second hit. You've got to bring the kitchen to get him down.
3rd and 15. There's Daniels with a spin grab by the ankles, and it lunges out to the 49-yard line. He will be 12 yards shy of a first down, and for the first time in the second half, the Warriors will have to punt. But they don't mind. They have turned 3 Mills turnovers into scores and lead at 38-12 on MC TV.
Well, the Warriors will continue to try and do some quick hit. Kupu, number 32, on the tackle, and he's going to have to start. And Fanica, both of those guys that are playing back there are going to have to really step up in their linebacker position.
Garcia kick, end over end. It drives Diaz back. You'll let it roll, and this will be down by, let's just put Daniels on the special teams, and he'll down the punt. The kid does everything.
I don't think he comes off the field very. They bring him water. He doesn't go over and get the water. They probably bring him a sandwich if he asks for it.
Copies of this game are available for purchase through the Mills Athletics boosters at the address shown on your screen. The copy quality is really, really good. Better than what you see on television replay, and makes a wonderful holiday gift. Watch that favorite slow motion replay over and over again from the comfort of your couch with your own personal copy of this Mills South City contest. It makes a great stocking stuffer.
I love it. You might as well keep it on tape. Face it, when you played, when they had leather helmets that you folded up and put in your pocket, they didn't have video of your games.
No.
I don't even think they had audio of your games. I know they didn't have audio of mine. I played, they didn't have helmets.
1800s high school football in its infancy for you. 38-12 South City. Tell you the Peninsula TV's next game of the week will air coming up on Saturday, December 1st at 7:30. Then on Tuesday the 4th at 10 p.m. when the University of the Pacific men's volleyball team takes on Stanford. It should be a great match. Don't miss it right here on Penn TV. A lot of hoop coming up too on Penn TV in the winter. Doubleheaders all over. We'll have Mills, Bobby Thompson's team, playing at Burlingame, part of a boys-girls doubleheader. We'll have South City. Ben White coaches the girls basketball team at South San Francisco, one of the only coaches that coaches not only football but also basketball. We'll have them hosting El Camino, I believe, sometime in February. San Mateo, Aragon, Woodside, Menlo Atherton, and more. So we don't just stop here. We keep going for those of you along the Peninsula Television Network. There's the running game. Fanica with a nice run at a first down out across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Gain of 11 yards. They'll move the sticks, 1st and 10.
Now, the old-time football players like mine, they just call that the crossbuck. You line up on one side, come across the backside of the center, and hit a beautiful gap. Nice trap action by the offensive line. Quit looking at me like I just came off of rugby, which was the first game I ever did learn how to play. But you got to have runs like that. Run with determination.
Fanica's got a hustle to get set here. Coming up on 2 minutes left in the third. Mills has got to hustle. 3-step drop. Tasfralis throws incomplete, way over the head of Diaz. Tasfralis, not the same quarterback we saw in the first half. He has thrown 3 picks to start the third quarter. 2 of them turned into 10 points.
Now you start throwing picks, it'll play a little bit with your mind. Here's a tough young man, Adam Tasfralis. Very, very tough upstairs, mentally tough. He can, if anybody can shake it, I think he'd probably be able to. But he's going to have to come up with that one big completion to get him back on the beam.
Mills did trail in this game in the second quarter, 21-0, only to make it a 21-12 game at the break. Tasfralis throws, stop route, caught Kupu. Kupu gains an extra 5 yards with Daniels all over him. A pickup of 19 yards and a first down for the Vikings.
Yeah, what's good for the Vikings is they're going to their underneath patterns right now. Tasfralis goes that one pump, and that'll freeze everybody, and he goes the underneath route to his running back, and that's what you're going to have to do. The deep backs are walking off. For heaven's sakes, they're going to try and play against that home run, which you know he can throw. So take the 5, take the 7-yard stuff, take the 10-yard stuff.
Fanica, another big gainer across the 45 to 46. Gain of 7 yards. Bring up second down. We'll call it a long 3 with 1:27 left in the third quarter.
Well, I think somebody had a conversation with the Mills front area. Radke, Brainy, and Varellas. That's your center and your 2 guards, because that trio has looked real good on this series.
Tafralis, one of the few times this afternoon, under center, flushed out of the pocket. Gets a block, lofts one out, and that one was almost picked off by Rodriguez. Intended for a number 44, Kyle Splice, the tight end. Tafralis is going to have to quit forcing the ball in there. He still has time, though it's going to be quite a chore, Kurt, to make up 26 points in a little over 13 minutes.
And great job by the offensive front for Mills. If the heat was on Tafralis, he rolled out, but Brainy came back, threw a great block. Radke peels back from his center position, throws a great block. And the pass was just a little bit behind the tight end. He's got to lead his receivers a little better. That's easy to say, but when you're on the run, folks, it's hard to do.
3rd down, 3. It's going to be 4th down and 8. Play detonated in the backfield, blown up. Well, you got to give South City a lot of credit. You know, he's played a heck of a game. 2 interceptions, multiple tackles all over the field. Now coming up limping is Oliveras, number 99, the strong safety.
He was the reason that play absolutely blew up. A little misdirection or inside reverse on that play, but the simple fact that South City had gotten across the line of scrimmage caused that play to goof up real quick.
Well, 4th down at 8 now. Coming up on 20 seconds left in the 3rd. Tafralis looking, throwing, has a man, and a 1st down near midfield.
Well, the matchup throughout this entire time has been the tight end Grossman and the linebacker Nava, number 4, and they have been going at each other hammer and tong. That time perfectly thrown pass by Tafralis, and Grossman doing a nice job. You like to see the receivers reach out with their hands, catch it, and tuck it inside very quickly. But the pass was perfect, and that keeps this drive alive. And, Craig, they need 6 out of this drive.
Picked up 10 on a 4th down at 8. Grossman now with 5 receptions. 1st and 10. Kupu in the block. Tafralis steps up, and he is drilled for a loss of 5. Boy, let's credit that South City secondary. What a great defensive scheme by the Warrior coaches this afternoon.
Oh, they're doing a great job. Sitting back there, Rodriguez, number 40, from a linebacker. He dropped 15 yards off the ball. Daniels, Oliveras, Latu, Martinez. They're doing a great job. Their first step is back, and the safeties are just really flying back off the ball. Here again, you've got to play like that, and quarterback, I'd probably do the same thing. I continue to look down the field, but there comes a point in time where there's diminishing returns. You come to the line of scrimmage, you might as well tuck it and go for just as many as you possibly can. He might have been able to run through a couple of tackles. I really couldn't tell. But as soon as you stop to throw, you're dead. We got some sponsors here that I'd love to...
Yeah, we'd like to thank some generous local businesses for helping underwrite the cost of televising this South City Mills matchup. Thank you to Citibank Millbrae with a full line of banking services for students and their families, and to Rainy TV, your full-line Panasonic sales and service provider. Also thanks to Millbrae Lock with fully equipped radio dispatch mobile units at your service, and Ed Rogers Realty, serving real estate investment needs for over 50 years. Last but not least are the great folks who bring you Peninsula TV's Game of the Week: BFI, Burrell Bank, RCN, Saramati Center, and the San Mateo County Times. Thanks to all. Thank for you for tuning in. If you just joined us, South San Francisco, the number 5 seed in the Division III CCS playoffs, jumped on Mills early, led 21-0, but the Vikings, the number 4 seed in this 8-team tournament, came back to make it a 21-12 game at the half. Since then, it's been all Warriors. Mills, with 4 straight turnovers in the 3rd quarter, resulted in 17 points. We stand 38-12. We start the 4th quarter, and in and out of the hands of Diaz. Coverage by Ernie Martinez at the 46-yard line, and that will bring up a 3rd down and a 13.
And all the receivers that time, Diaz goes down, hard 4 or 5 yards of drive, spins it right back around. Martinez, who is the corner on this side, the near sidelines, he's given a heck of a cushion. So he'll gladly say, you want 5, turn it up inside 5, because he laid a heck of a lick on Diaz. This time 2 receivers to this side, and they're right there, nose up on the receivers.
3rd down long, 4 receivers. Oliveris cheats in from his strong safety position as if to blitz and holds back, but whistles all over the place. And this usually points to movement or not enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
Again, a nice false start. Those little things. Now, actually, we saw the huge things, which is the turnovers, but the little penalties that change the offensive call. And more importantly, it changes a defensive call, Craig. Now, look at this coverage. You got two safeties, and they are 15 yards off the ball, and somebody's probably going to come off the corner on a blitz.
Yeah, a 4th down at 18. Tafralis, time. He's got to get rid of this one. He's going to be not going to make the first down. A nice effort, though, to about the 42-yard line. Beg your pardon, I said 3rd down and long. That was, or 4th down. It's 3rd down and long. Now it's 4th down at about 5.
Now, that was a great decision by the young quarterback. He kept looking down the field, pump faking, and that would freeze the defenders a little bit. He's looking down, tremendous coverage. Just a 4-man rush. Finally, they get somebody free. And into your picture is Tafralis finally says, I'm going to run this ball. Will be Belinsky that throws a great block that allows his quarterback to pick up about 4 or 5 more yards. There was that good block right behind him.
4th down and about 5. Tafralis again to the gun. His receiver's got to be tired running all these routes every single play. Has a man and loses the football. And I believe South City had a shot to recover that, Kurt, but it is recovered by Mills. Grossman with the reception and the first down. He lost the ball, but the Vikings got it back.
Got a fortunate bounce on a ball that never bounces the same way more than twice. Very good break. You know, at this point in time, you're down by a couple of touchdowns here or there. If I'm the receiver, catch the ball, try and run the out to the sidelines to stop the clock, get out of bounds. I know you move it with the first down, but as soon as the ball is set, it goes again.
1st down 10, whip it out in the flat, and that's Capu. And he gains about 4 yards down to the 31-yard line. He'll bring up a 2nd down and about 6.
Capu doing a very simple, just out of the backfield, a hot read. South City, hey, they're smart. They realize that their 2 primary people they got to look out for are Diaz, number 80, going to the far side, Belinsky, number 3, to the near side. Anything else, they'll let the backs out of the backfield have it.
Keep everything in front of you. They're playing deep here. Tafralis gains a few. They'll bring up a 3rd down and short with a 9:40 to play in this football game. The winner will take on Los Gatos in the 2nd round, the semifinals of the CCS Division III playoffs. The loser, time to bring out the old soccer cleats and basketball trunks.
And you may have a wrestler out there too. You never know.
Sorry, Coach.
No, that's always listen to your coach. Thompson, number 54, that time on the tackle, doing a good job of just staying home and letting the quarterback come to him.
3rd down 3. Obviously, 2-down territory from here on out. Mills will have to go for it all the time. Whip this back. That's a live football. Capu will let it roll out of the 40-yard line. That's a live ball.
Ball thrown behind the line of scrimmage on an angle away from the line of scrimmage. That classifies, you're right, as a live ball, a.k.a. a fumble. Tafralis just taking the snap, standing straight up, and he had a whole bunch of people from South City get right across the line of scrimmage. That's where, as an offensive lineman, you fire out low, you cut the legs out of the guy from right in front of you, because if you try and stand up and block them and they blow by you, they're going to eat your quarterback for lunch.
4th down, 14. Mills does not convert here. He can mail this game in with 9 minutes to go. Vikings down by 26 points. And Tafralis has to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. Storyline of this game is South City jumping out to a 21-0 lead using their aerial game. And Mills cutting that down to 21-12 at the half. And South City scoring 17 unanswered points in the 3rd quarter thanks to 4 Mills turnovers. All right, if you're watching this game on Millbrae Community Television, I know you'll be happy to know that MCTV believes that football and turkey go hand in hand, so you can see the replays at those times and dates throughout the Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, right now it looks like Mills' offense might be just a little, to have fun with a word, discombobulated. Just not quite going where they're supposed to, yes.
One of the big things, though, about establishing a running game is this isn't a video game where you turn the fatigue button off and your receivers can run all day without getting tired. Diaz and Grossman and the rest of them, Belinsky, they got to be
They're tired.
They got to be
Here's the other
beat out
thing.
there.
And you're right. And it's harder to block if you're a lineman for a passing game. You get tired doing that because you're backing up, getting beat up.
4th down, 14. Tafralis needs a first down, going for the home run, has a man, Diaz, into the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings. Wow.
How in the world? He could have gotten so far open at this point in time, I will never know. Martinez wasn't anywhere near him. He was the closest defender to get there. And maybe Oliveira's on the other side. Throwing the home run, I don't blame him. Definite deep coverage on the backside. Oliveras was supposed to have topside coverage over the top. He was not there. And it was just perfectly thrown. The home run. But Craig, 80 is your #1 guy. I would know where he was all of the time. I'll let 3 beat me. I'm not going to let 80 beat me.
Vikings go for the 2-point conversion to make it an 18-point game. Tafralis looks, throws, incomplete. So with 8:55 left, still some time for a miracle for the Mills Vikings. That was a 43-yard touchdown strike from Adam Tafralis to Chris Diaz. 3rd time that Tafralis and Diaz have hooked up here this afternoon. Tafralis now, Kurt, he's at about 1,700 yards for the year and 21 touchdowns, but he has thrown 3 big interceptions here in the 3rd quarter. And right now, it is South City's game to lose. You're going to expect onside kicks here, 3 scores down. Get the ball, melt the clock, get out of here with a win, enjoy the weekend, your Thanksgiving, and face Los Gatos.
Oh, yeah, well, everything's sounded great except for the face Los Gatos. And I'm looking at the kickoff team getting ready to take the field for the Vikings. And it's the all-hands club. The receivers, backs. There's 150 number out there, and it's not of substantial size. So the big horses out there, you're not seeing them. These are guys that have got some good set of hands. And all they're going to try and do is kick this thing at an angle, hopefully get that big hop, and somebody get a jump ball and catch it.
Ashaw will angle near side towards Stanley Chan, number 7, and Rodriguez, and this is high in the air, and it's a loose ball, and Mills has it.
Yeah, now the question is, Craig, it didn't go the necessary 10, so for Mills to have it, somebody from South City had to touch it first. Here it goes. It's not going to go 10. There's that big hop. Diaz says, I got it, and there is the South City man that made contact. That makes it eligible for everybody to do it. And it looked like Hickman might have ended up falling on the football, and that was just a great heads-up play. And how fortunate for this to happen. Time is against the Vikings, but there's still life in the ship.
Mike Hickman with the big recovery. Vikings down by 20 with 8:55 to play. Crowd has been quiet since the 2nd quarter. They're starting to make some noise. Tafralis, pump fake. Is he going deep again? Yes, he is. Has a man. Diaz makes the catch again.
Again, nobody over the top to help Oliveras, who is a safety on that side. You've got to, he cannot let anybody deeper than he is, and that is 2 plays in a row where Martinez has gone one-on-one with Diaz. And let's face it, Craig, Diaz is a heck of a receiver. It's almost unfair to go one-on-one with him.
38-24, and now Vikings, who have not converted on a extra point here this afternoon. Oshawa will get the opportunity to make this a 13-point game. A high snap, place, kick, line drive. So Mills now has failed on 4 extra points, but they do cut it to a 14-point game with 8:48 to play. Let's take another look. How in the world can you let Diaz get deep on you twice?
Well, he's going man up with Martinez. Here's your first fake, and that breaks everybody off. That actually froze Martinez. Diaz continues to run his route. Here's Oliveras. He's the safety. He's to the left of your screen. He's got to be as deep as the receiver, if not more, but he bit on that pump fake. And I'm watching Trafalis that time. His eyes were not on Diaz, so the pump fake went in the direction of another receiver. Oliveras either took a nap or bit on that pump fake, and that left Diaz one-on-one. Martinez cannot stay with him. So guess what, folks? It's the old Sage Yogi Berra, who was a great guard for the high school in St. Louis back in whenever time he played football at St. Louis High. We're going to see another onside kick.
We talked about the secondary of South City. Keep everything in front of you twice now. Martinez has let Diaz slip by him. He can't afford. Diaz is just too quick, and his hands are too sure.
And I looked over at Ben White after the play concluded in the touchdown. That was not a happy coach over on that sidelines, and his defensive coordinator is also probably just a wee bit bent out of shape.
14-point game. Here we go again. Oshawa's going to kick it deep, and Daniels will reel it in at about the 25-yard line. Daniels with some moves and chisels his way to about the 34. So 1st and 10, South City. Boy, Tafralis, Diaz, 4 times they've hooked up for scores. Now it's a time for the defense to shine.
Yeah, that's a good one. Everybody looking for it. Daniels makes that catch. Pretty good field position, but great hustle. All of a sudden, the attitude for the Mills Vikings has really picked up. A lot of people flying for the ball, trying to get to Daniels and wrap him up, but still good position for the Warriors.
1st down, 10. I don't think you'll see South City put the ball up. Look at a steady dose of Chris Daniels. Daniels switches hands across the 45 to the 49-yard line at a gain of 15 yards as the clock stops with 8:33 remaining.
I'll tell you what you're going to have to get a steady dose of is somebody putting a shoulder pad right in the middle of a running back, Chin, number 12 on the tackle. But after a tremendous amount of yardage was covered, and now they're they're still inside their own territory, but if they're the 49-yard line, Mills is going to have to come up with some hits, some shoulder tackles, not hand tackles.
Need a turnover. 1st and 10. Chris Daniels again cuts to the outside, now back inside into Viking territory at the 48-yard line after a gain of 2. Call it 2nd down and 8 with 8 minutes left. You know what? I need to take care of the ball. I want to melt time off the clock. I want a short running back carrying the ball, a Barry Sanders type, a Chris Daniels type. Tougher to fumble than a big guy.
It is tougher to fumble, and when you get some great blocks like Castaneda did against Fanaika to turn that ball back up the field, makes life a lot easier. Simple handoff. I'd give it to Rodriguez right off tackle.
2nd down and 8. No, Drake around in, and he's got some room. Cuts it inside, has a 1st down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Stop made by Grossman, but not after a pickup of 14 yards.
Well, Ben White still rolling the dice. Sends his 2 number 1 running backs in there, and everybody forgets about Drake, number 15. There's the big fake. There's Drake around. Nice option. But what happened, Craig, is defensively the Vikings had gone in towards the center, and they left the outside open. The outside end splice on that side, who's supposed to have contained, lost contain.
I mentioned Grossman. It was Hickman with the tackle, and there's Rodriguez. Tough yardage between the guards. He whittles out about 6 yards. Bring up a 2nd down and 4. Time at issue inside of 7 minutes in a 38-24 game. South City with the ball and the lead. The loser, that's it for the year. The winner will play in the semifinals against Los Gatos next Friday or Saturday night.
Now Castro goes in defensively, and the defensive tackle for the Vikings. big important drive. Even if South City doesn't score, if they can milk a couple more minutes off the clock, it's just as good as some points on the board.
Chris Daniels, oh, look at the move. He faked the entire defense out, races to the corner. Is he in? Yeah, no, he's out. It's about the 2-yard line. Chris Daniels, one of the best backs in the CCS, 26 touchdowns on the year. Nearly iced the game with that run, gain of 30.
He starts into the line of scrimmage, kicks it outside. Fanaika again, supposed to have that coverage, doesn't get it. And great blocking. You're seeing a lot of red shirts end up on their backside, and that's not good if you're trying to make tackles. But all Daniels is doing, Craig, starts it inside, the defense comes to him, and the Barry Sanders type of running back that he is, he kicks it to the outside and goes through the gears.
First down goal. Daniels is going to be shy of the goal line to bring up second down and goal. That's fine with the Warriors. Working that clock, coming up on 6 minutes left. Daniels now well over 120 yards. He has scored 3 touchdowns, has 26 on the year. That leads the Central Coast section.
Now you're in 4-down territory. The Warriors are in no hurry to score. They're in no hurry to run the play, just as long as they get it off in the allotted time from when the official marks the ball and starts his own clock. So they'll take the full allotted seconds they can.
Daniels is stuffed. Splice with a big hit. Also in there for Mills, I believe it was Maka 99. He'll bring up third down and goal with 5:30 to play.
Big surge by the defensive left front for Mills, and they needed that one. Simple little dive plays. Gap responsibility, that's what your line's got to do. They've got to engage the blocker and then get rid of the blocker, and both of those guys did a great job of that time. And they might have actually dropped Daniels for a half a yard loss, which doesn't happen very often.
Third and goal from the 1, and this time Drake wanted inside, takes the perimeter into the end zone. Touchdown Warriors. That should do it. Jomar Drake, around end on a 1-yard run. It makes it a 44-24 game with 4:57 left to play.
Looked like Kupu that time. There's a shot at Drake. Tough running back, always in motion. You talked about the receivers having to run a lot. Here's one, Drake. He is gassed as he heads over towards the sidelines. And of course, he's coming off an injured elbow.
Navarro up and in. Makes it a 45-24 game. We said that, we expected the game in the 60s. Well, we have had a grand total of 69 points in this game. One of our earlier games on Penn TV, Kurt, in mid-September, we had Jefferson at South San Francisco. Final score there, South City beat Jefferson 62-38. And speaking of Jefferson, it's a horrendous season a year ago. Boy, what a great job of bouncing back this year, barely missing out on the postseason.
They did a great job of rallying. The attitude of the school really improved as the football team continued to improve it. And I've always believed this, Craig, that fall sports and predominantly football can really set the tone of the rest of the sports throughout the season. Because football is a sport that's played with enthusiasm, probably more than anybody else plays all the rest of the sports.
Well, you can't fault Mills for giving up. They were down 21-0 in the second quarter. Fought back to make it a 21-12 halftime deficit. And then fell behind again in the third quarter, only to score a couple of touchdowns, make it a 14-point game as Brainy returns it about 8 yards to the 43-yard line. But South City just too tough. We talked about their potent rushing attack, Kurt, and how dangerous they are when they have a lead, when they have to protect the ball and melt the clock.
And they're doing a good job of that one. And plus, they've got the ability in their backs, that trifecta of backs that they bring at you, which Rodriguez being one of them, a fullback. Drake always in motion, and of course Daniels. They start up inside. They've got the speed to kick it outside.
Tafralis throwing a lot. Picks up in the air and knocked away by Garcia, who started the whole thing for South City in the third quarter with an interception. that led to a 17-0 quarter for the Warriors.
Now they say the play start at the quarterback. Not really. They start at the center. And if you can't get the quarterback the ball, and kudos to the center, folks. In the shotgun, that's not that easy. Now you're long snapping. Radke doing a great job back there. He knows he's going to have the long snap, but he's going to get his head slapped in.
Second down, 10. 4:48 remaining. Shovel pass to Capu. Capu with room. Capu, look out, needs a block. Capu at the 20. Capu now near the 10-yard line. Gain of 48 yards on the shovel pass from Tafralis to Capu.
I don't think I've seen this many shovel passes in a football game since Lee Grosscup got out of Utah, and he continues just to do the shovel pass. Let everybody come in. This time the blocking stays right there. Let everybody up the field. Look at all the big 60 and 70 numbers down the field. Super blocking. Capu just rambles. Need a quick strike though, my friend.
First and goal from the 10. Those aren't shovel passes, Kurt. They're shovel lobs. I mean, these are
they're going
high.
10 yards, yeah.
To Frales, they got to score in a hurry here. He's targeted. Diaz got it, or check that. Grossman near the goal line. Second effort. Is he in? Yes.
No quit in the Mills Vikings, especially in Tafralis.
Take another look at it.
And watch Diaz. Diaz is the outside receiver. Grossman lines up inside. And all you're going to see is Diaz go down, clear out the area. Grossman come underneath. Perfectly thrown pass. And, of course, Grossman's got to do the dirty work. He's got to get that extra 2 yards, and that's not easy. Now let's see if we can get an extra point off here.
They failed on 4 consecutive point afters. Asha up and good in the crowd with a Bronx cheer.
Hey, you got to come through when you come through.
5-31, 14-point game, still time. 4.5 to play. Set up by the long gainer on the shovel pass from Tafralis to Capu, culminating on a 10-yard touchdown pass from Tafralis to Grossman. And Grossman is having a big game on the receiving end, Kurt. Him and Diaz have been the primary targets. Turnovers, though, have killed Mills in the third quarter.
Well, I can see the headlines in the paper the next day. Defense plays great game. Offense turns the ball over too many times, and that has been the story, especially coming out in the third quarter. 3 turnovers, and they all went against them. They turned the ball right on over. It's horrible. Everybody's setting up for another onside kick. Only Daniels is back at about his 20-yard line. Everybody else is sitting around the 50-yard line waiting for a little pooch kick.
Asha has been successful on one onside kick this afternoon. He'll try it again. South City just got to get away from this one. He'll go out of bounds. Only 3 yards on the kick. And South City will take it first down and 10. On other levels, he'll have to re-kick that. You get that opportunity, not on the prep level. First and 10.
Yep, where the ball goes out of bounds. What a
Legal
gorgeous
procedure,
opportunity.
kick out of bounds, penalty be declined.
Now again,
First
South
down.
City says we have 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the game. If they throw the ball in the air, I'm going to be one of the most surprised people in the entire stands, especially with the ground attack that they have. You know, grind it out. They've got the backs who can score from here on one play.
Rodriguez and Daniels behind Latu, and here is Chris Daniels. Grabbed by the ankles by Brainy. Got back to, he lost a yard. We'll call it second down and 11. Clock at issue with 4:15 to play. Mills with 2 timeouts.
Brainy, the middle linebacker, shot the gap, did a good job, picked the right gap, came through, and got the ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be second down and 11.5, call it 12. That's a big tackle, but the clock continues to run.
Always big when a lower division PAL Ocean Division team beats the upper Bay Division. Bragging rights, but for here it's survival in the playoffs. Drake with a great effort. Finally driven out of bounds by Maka, but not after a gain of 6 yards. It'll make it 3rd down and about 8.
Drake gets those tough yards. And there is one. I just hope that he's tired and out of gas. Do not know who the Viking is that's down on the ground. Both of these teams have just played one hard-fought football game. And a lot of these guys, Craig, have been going both ways. And there's got to be a lot of fatigue out there. Fanica, who was the one that was just laying down there, he's up and moving around. May have got the wind knocked out of him, or he's just flat running out of gas.
Well, look at the kids that Coach Tenerowitz loses. To Fraulis, Asha, the kicker, Belinsky. Run down the seniors for you, and we get the opportunity here for Mills. It looks like they'll be their last game of the year. Daniels, look out! Look at that speed! Chris Daniels, touchdown! 41 yards, and Daniels near 200 yards rushing on the game. Just tallied his 4th TD of the afternoon.
Well, Daniels is one heck of an athlete. He's had an absolutely great career season. And I didn't get who threw the block, but somebody definitely tied up Hickman on the far side. It might have been Castaneda. I really could not see the number of the offensive man. Tied up Hickman, and Daniels cut up back inside, so the outside contain was lost.
Navarro's been perfect on his conversions, and he remains that way. 3:32 to play. It's now a 52-31 game. South City led at halftime, 21-12. Chris Daniels, 4 touchdowns, near 200 yards on the ground last week. Had 203 against El Camino. Nearly 300 yards in all-purpose yardage. Wow, 1,700 yards on the year now, Kurt. 27 touchdowns. We'll see how Los Gatos contains him next week in the Division III semifinals.
Well, it's going to be a matter of, does Los Gatos have the speed to contain the running backs that South San Francisco can bring out to them? Los Gatos pretty big up front. Obviously, top quarterback in the state in Edwards. And we've got a pretty good one with Trefalis, also a pretty good one. Hey, if we get some replays of this one, it's right around turkey time.
Yeah, you Penn TV viewers, if you just tuned it in, want to see this game or repeat it in its entirety, it has been fun. Catch your replays coming up November 24th at 7:30, and then a late start on the 27th at 10 p.m. We expected a lot of points. Some big plays, we got them. This has been a great atmosphere in Millbrae, and Mills' first ever CCS playoff game. They have given a gutty effort. A few miscues have led to this deficit of 52-31. But Coach Mike Tenerowitz and his staff and his players, 7-0, won the PAL Ocean Division first postseason game. Nothing to be ashamed of. Gave a great fight here today.
Oh, it's been a super year for the Vikings. They did very, very well. You want to be the team that goes all the way. The one thing about high school ball is this is a game that they're going to remember, and only one walks away with the final W. But what a great season they've had. They've got some tremendous athletes on this ball club.
1st and 10 for Adam Tafralis. We'll be seeing him during hoop season. Pump fake, thinking about that long thing to Diaz again, and he's brought down, sacked. Now that's the 2nd time that South City has corralled Tafralis for the sack. That time it was Peter Thompson, the defensive end.
Yeah, looking out there, the white jerseys are a little easier to get dirty than the color jerseys. Rodriguez, who wears number 40 for South City, he's absolutely filthy. And Thompson, number 54, he looks like he's worked hard. And all of these kids have worked real hard. And Tafralis, number 11, the quarterback for Mills, and Kupu, boy, their uniforms they've seen some action today.
2nd down, 10. Tafralis over the middle, Grossman to midfield. And a pickup of 27 yards and a 1st down.
Now Grossman does a nice job of just releasing down the field, and as you've said before, Craig, defensively, the deep backs are back. Keep everything in front of you. Beautifully thrown ball. He's just real fun to watch throw that ball. Grossman comes up. There's a wicked stick back there by Martinez. He really brought the shoulder pads into the tackle.
1st down, 10, 2:30 to play. Tafralis, time, steps up. Deep pass, incomplete, and intended for Diaz. Latu, the free safety with the coverage. Get the opportunity. Let's run down the Mills seniors in their final game. Mark Sutter, Jeff Belinsky, Chris Simpson, Joe Ashaw, Ken Chin, Ryan Grossman, Steve Hampton, who has been bothered by a quad today. He's been sorely missed. Justin Quintero, Solomon Capu, Andreas Puebla, Rick Bonaducci, Mike Kalanico, Mookie Morar, Nate New, Mike Brodeur, Theo Varelis, Doug Aratke, Chris Diaz, Jonathan Sun. Second down at 10. Only 3 rush. Over the middle, wide open on the skinny post was Chris Simpson. 6'2", 175, a senior. Bring up 3rd and 10.
Hard, new receiver into the game is Simpson, and you've got to be in sync. A lot of time. They're only running a couple. That ball is tipped. Otherwise, that is right in Simpson's graphs. Did not see who tipped it, but one of the linebackers who was dropping back in coverage was able to get a paw up and knock that thing down.
So South City, which finished 2nd in the PAL Bay Division, looking to hold on here. Grossman with a huge afternoon. I believe that's his 7th catch. That one good for 22 yards before he was brought down by Latu.
And Latu is back, what would you say, 20, 30 yards off the ball. A lot of time. You can see huge gap. You can see the linebackers underneath, and Grossman gets between the linebackers and the deep coverage. Makes a catch, has to do a nice little acrobatic move.
2 minutes remaining. Tafralis under the gun. Lets it fly. Has a man. Grossman again. He's into the end zone. Touchdown for Grossman.
We ought to show up these games more often. The offense shows up when we do.
Ryan Grossman, 8 catches. And the first time Tafralis has thrown a touchdown aside from Diaz.
And Martinez tries to just do a body tackle, and Grossman just goes, whap! No, thank you, and walks on in. But Tafralis is actually the reason that one goes. He buys himself a little time with his ability to roll out. It's going to be interesting to watch the career of this young quarterback.
Asha's point after. No good, missed it left. 151 left, could be a big extra point. 52-37, South San Francisco. And you and I have done, what, 15 football telecasts for
Easy.
whatever TV networks. Everyone has been high scoring just about. But South City, this is our second one with them. They won 62-38 over Jefferson in September. Here we got 52-37.
Yeah, I wonder if they think that they've got to score 62 because we're here, or 60 because we're here. Again, folks, get ready for the onside kick. It's only logical with $1:51 remaining. And this time, I'm sure the coordinator for the special teams is going to tell the kicker it has to go 10 yards. If it doesn't matter, unless, of course, a South City player gets it. On the other side, I'm sure all the receivers in the backs on the front wall for South City, they've been told, you're on the 50, stay on the 50. If it goes out before the 50, we get the ball. Who cares?
We're at the
If it's a nice little hop right to you, catch it and go for it. Just don't fumble.
used to be a special teams coach.
How'd you guess?
We're almost live from Jim Cox Field. Glad you're with us on MCTV and the Peninsula Television Network. Craig Wentz with Kurt Edwards. And great job by those in the truck here this afternoon, and great camera work. Big festive crowd in Mills's initial CCS playoff. It's taken a while. Taken
Worth the
about
wait.
35 years, but they're in the playoffs. And we're going to have an offsides penalty on Mills on the kickoff. They'll have to push it back 5 and do it all over again. But Mills, unless they come through with a miracle, will
Legal
finish the
procedure
year
on the
at
kicking team. Penalized 5 yards.
7-3. Remember, the
re-kick.
PAL canceled their games. One of the few leagues in the state to cancel games after the terrorist attacks of September 11th. South City holds on. They'll go to 7-3. I don't know if you can call this an upset, though Mills was the number 4 seed and South City number 5. South City came from the tougher Bay Division. Mills in the not real competitive Ocean Division. That's just the way it worked out. But nonetheless, both teams have put on a great show. And that's a loose ball.
Look at the bodies. That was a line drive off of more hands at a pinball game. Hickman comes up with it. There's still some breath in the body.
Second time that Hickman has come up with an onside kick.
Watch this, he just hits a screaming bullet off of one. Bounces around, funny bounce, it's on there, and everybody comes flying on in. There's Hickman laid in, but he's the one that's got the football. So I've got a feeling that, just a hunch, mind you, Craig, that we'll see some deep routes by the receivers.
15-point deficit, 1:45 to play. We have Mills with a one timeout. Tefralis going deep and off the fingertips of Ernie Martinez, who's been burned twice by Diaz. And now the Mills receivers have to be exhausted, but they have no choice to go deep on virtually every play.
Just go get the oxygen, get back to the line of scrimmage, and Tafralis will probably have a sore arm. Just ice it, my friend. Martinez that time is in that good deep position. He's deeper than the receiver, so the ball is underthrown. Fine, Diaz catches it, but I got Martinez will come in for the tackle. That time, good job by Tafralis. Just overthrow the receiver.
Second down, 10.
Uh-oh.
There's that shovel lob. Kapoo. It went big last time, and it goes for 12 yards here. Garcia with the tackle. They'll move the sticks, first down and 10. Stop the clock, move the chains, 1:32 to play.
Get on the line of scrimmage, snap the ball as soon as the referee marks it. He started the clock. Should snap the ball very, very quickly.
Fresh set of downs for the Vikings of Mills High School in the all-maroon. Going deep for Diaz. Boy, they're really picking on old Ernie Martinez, number 17, who has played a fine football game. That was Daniels, excuse me, on that coverage. They got Daniels now on Diaz. But every one of that Warrior secondary, Kurt, has played exceptional.
They've done a great job, and you look at Diaz, 6'1", 165-pound senior. He has done a great job. Every receiver you can think of out there. Kupu, the lone running back, sit back there, probably for blocking or at least an emergency receiver if need be.
Second down, 10. Again, the shovel pass, Kapoo. And he is wrestled down after a gain of 7. They'll bring up a third down at about 3 with 1:07 left. Clock continues to roll. Mills has to find the end zone twice, make a extra point and a 2-point conversion just to force the Kansas tiebreaker.
Well, I've seen some miracles in football in my day. Anything is possible as long as there's time on the clock. And that little shovel pass up the middle, those are getting deeper and deeper. Start of the game, they were about 5 to 7 yard shovel passes. Now they're closer to 10 to 15 yard shovel passes.
But South City will take that.
Well, you're going to see that because you watch and they're letting everybody come on in. The linebackers are doing a good job. They identify the fact that it's a shovel pass. And the linebackers, which are number 4, Nava, number 46, Garcia, and number 40, Rodriguez, they step out there and they take on the blockers, which they're supposed to. And then they're just forcing that running back out to the outside, and they make the tackle before he gets out of bounds.
Boy, I would love a copy of this tape.
Wouldn't that be great? I'd love one.
And copies of this tape are available for purchase through the Mills Athletics boosters at the address shown right there. This copy quality is excellent, better than what you see on the television replay, and makes a wonderful holiday gift. Watch that favorite slow motion replay, Kurt, over and over again from the comfort of your own couch with your own personal copy. All right. Third down and a long 3. Tafralis, no time for errors, going deep, juggled incomplete. Knocked away by Villarreal. Daniels also there. And arguably the last opportunity for Mills here. With 55 seconds left, it'll be a 4th down and 3.
Can't go in deep. Got to go to your favorite receiver. Pump fake. Watch this. Actually, Diaz now has to turn into a defender. Everybody's there. And Diaz goes up and knocks it away. Villarreal there. Daniels over there. Daniels. A lot of ball players, hands on their knees. Those tapes, they're going to be great because you've got a lot of seniors out here today that have played just a great football game.
What a great scene here in Millbrae on the 17th of November. Tafralis with the option. Capu to the outside, breaks a tackle, and finally dropped just shy of the 20-yard line. The clock will stop to move the sticks. 44 seconds left.
Well, Tafralis, and when we talked to the coaches before the game, Mills basically says we're going to put this game on the shoulders of the big quarterback, and for the most part they've had, and he's really come through. A couple ill-advised passes, but this young man's had a very, very good football game.
Warriors in the nickel package. Touchdown! Grossman, his second TD catch. He also has a catch for a two-point conversion. He has 8 receptions on the afternoon, and Kurt, a 2-point conversion here. We got a 1-touchdown game.
Again, we talk about the arm of the quarterback, and quarterbacks have to trust their arms. This time, Tafralis trusts his arm, and he throws about a 6-inch gun. Right, you talk about a bullet. That was a howitzer that came right off of that young man's arm. 5th TD pass, and he has just thrown just amazingly well. And the only time that he's gotten in trouble is when he's forced it when he should have run. But you know what? Experience is a tremendous thing.
Well, do you go for 2 here? They're going to do it. Down by 9, 33 seconds left.
Sprint
this
left.
to make it a 7-point game. Tafralis stops in the air. Incomplete. That was huge because now it'll take 2 scores. Maybe you go for the extra point, kick it, then make it an 8-point game. Nonetheless, you're going to have to make a 2-point conversion somewhere along the line. Well, Alan Tafralis will end his prep career with 5 touchdown passes. Chris Daniels, the standout South City running back with 4 touchdown runs. He'll survive another week and take on favored Los Gatos in the CCS semifinals next week.
Well, the other guy that's going to end his high school career in tremendous fashion is number 20, Ryan Grossman, the tight end, who's just done a great job of being in the right place at the right time. And that touchdown that we just saw him catch from that gunshot off the arm of Tafralis was just amazing. So we have a lot of seniors here, Craig, that have just played their hearts out on this football game. Those two of those just to be mentioned. Chris, and on the other side, there's a lot of those guys that are doing great also.
And Chris Diaz also, an excellent game for Mills. 3 touchdown receptions. Grossman, listed at tight end, has split out in that 4 receiver
they widened him
line.
out. You're right.
Well, this has to work, and this one will roll out of bounds, and that will do it with 33 seconds left. South City will have a first down and 10. The Warriors will improve to 7-3. They'll take their number 5 seed in the 8-team Division III playoffs and go to Los Gatos next week. And we want to wish Ben White
Kick
and
out
his
of
crew the
bounds.
best of luck and thank
Penalty
him.
declined. First down.
Likewise to
That's
Mike
all right.
Tenerowitz and his staff and players for the help they have given us this year, not only in MCTV but Peninsula TV. And they had an outstanding season, nothing to be ashamed of. They won their first league title, first trip to the playoffs. Great year and put on a great show here.
Oh, there's no quit in it. Coach Tenerowitz should, when he gets in there, just talk to his guys because they've had a positive season, and they ended in a positive way by really challenging South San Francisco to the end.
Final thoughts?
I can only tell the people that if you want to get a tape of this game, get one. It's been one of the most entertaining games that we've possibly done, and just a super job. Some very talented athletes. Best of luck to the South City Warriors. Tremendous season for the Vikings.
Well, I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. We'd like to thank our MCTV crew and Peninsula TV crew for their great work and dedication to high school football. You got to remember now, folks, our crews work under less than glamorous conditions so that the athletes, families, and friends can enjoy watching their kids compete and on television. And we appreciate everyone's effort, from those in the truck to the camera. For Mr. Kurt Edwards and the entire MCTV crew, I'm Craig Wentz saying so long from Millbrae. Final, South San Francisco defeats Mills 52-43 in the opening round of the CCS Division III playoffs. South City to face Los Gatos. Mills, the season is over. From all of us to all of you, thanks for pulling up a chair. Good night, everybody.